Welcome to Factoring Polynomials with a Visual Guide. This is already part 4 of a series of videos to help students understand factoring polynomials completely. In this part of the tutorial series, we will be discussing factoring the more general form of trinomials, x²+bx+c. But before we continue, these are important concepts you might want to recall. If you need to review these topics, or you are confident enough to skip to other parts of this video, click the links in the description below. But don't worry, we'll try to explain pa rin some previous topics as we go along. Like previous parts in this series, let's review our visual guide, serving as our map in factoring polynomials. When we will be asked to factor polynomials completely, the very first step is to get the GCMF. That's part 1 of this tutorial series. The link is on the description below. After that, we proceed to step 2, where we will use other techniques of factoring depending whether we are left with a trinomial, a binomial, or a polynomial with 4 or more terms. So far, we started discussing trinomials with leading coefficient equal to 1. That is part 2 of this tutorial series. Also, we learned to factor quadratic-like trinomials here, which was discussed in part 3. All of these in the links in the description below. In this part 4, we are discussing a more general form of a trinomial. We are skipping for the meantime number 2 here. Don't worry, if it's a little confusing now, it will all make sense when we apply everything at the very end of this tutorial series. Let us try to recall factoring trinomials with leading coefficient equal to 1. What we actually did was organized listing. Let's quickly answer this example. Factor x² plus 6x plus 5. We know that this of course is equal to quantity x plus something times quantity x plus something. Writing x here is automatic. Our only problem is listing all factor pairs of 5. So recalling the method of solving this one, ang sasagutin natin is this question: what are the factors of c with sum equal to b? So of course we know, we write the factors of 5. There are 2 pairs which are 1 and 5, and then opposite -1 and -5. We know of course we choose 1 and 5 because 1 plus 5 is equal to 6, which is equal to our middle literal coefficient. So we use 1 and 5 here. Therefore, we now have the factors of x² plus 6x plus 5. What if we now have a more general trinomial where the leading coefficient is not equal to 1? For example, we are asked to factor 2x² minus 3x minus 5. What will be the effect of 2 here as the leading coefficient? Balikan natin yung previous question. Actually, the reason why we put x automatically as the first terms of the 2 factors is because x here and x here are the only factors of x². So sila pala are the factors of the first term, x² here in the trinomial. What we did actually earlier is called organized listing. Now we can apply that very same concept even when dealing with quadratic expressions in the general form. What if the leading coefficient is not equal to 1 anymore? So, what we want to do, just like what we did earlier, is write all the factor pairs of the last term. In this case, we have 1 and -5, and also consider immediately its opposite, -1 and +5. But aside from that, learning from our previous example, we need to also write all the possible factor pairs of the first term, not just a constant. So the factor pair is 2x and x. Now, to organize this given, what we want to do is draw a table here. Now let's organize by writing all the factors of 2x² in the first column. So copying from that, we have 2x and x. Now, in the second column, we have the factors of -5, our last term. So let's copy this one. So we have 1, -5. Aside from that, -1 and 5. Now, since these are the possibilities, Therefore, we can also write all the possible binomial factors of this trinomial, meaning let's partner 2x and x here with both factor pairs in this column. So doing that, we have 2x plus 1, ipartner natin yung 2x sa 1, plus 1 times ipartner natin yung x sa minus 5. So that's one possibility that we should check later. Another possibility is partner 2x this time with this next pair, so minus 1, and then x plus 5. Now, we might think these are the only possibilities. However, do you know that we could also flip these numbers, meaning flipping the position of 1 and minus 5, we can write minus 5 and 1. And also we can flip this, flipping negative 1 and 5, flip their position, this becomes 5 and negative 1. Now you might say, sir, aren't they the same? Talaga bang pareho sila? Let's try and see kung pareho talaga sila. Partner 2x with minus 5. 2x minus 5. Partner x with 1. X plus 1. As you can see, this now is different from this one. Sa previous example natin, we don't consider flipping the values because both factors of the first term are both x. X times x. In this case, since magkaiba na ang factors ng first term, 2x times x, pag flip na natin ito, which is negative 5 and 1, magiging ibang possibility na. Oh no, problem with that is we have more factor pairs to consider. Okay, sige, tsagain natin. Let's partner 2x with 5 this time. So we have 2x plus 5. And then factor x with minus 1. So, yung dating dalawa lang na i-consider mo, it became 4 possibilities. So, paano natin isa-solve ito then? Paano natin checkin which among these 4 will be our answer? Of course, the only way is to multiply and check each one of them by using the FOIL method. Now, ang gagawin natin is, let's try to multiply the first terms. Subukan natin. We have 2x times x is 2x squared. Outer, 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Inner, 1 times x is 1x or simply x. And last, 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Now, before we continue, check nga natin kung pareho na at least yung dalawang terms natin sa original trinomial. The first one, 2x squared, is already equal to 2x squared here. Wala na tayong problema dyan. Okay na yan. Now, negative 5 here is also already equal to the last term here, to the constant negative 5. Now, bakit kaya equal na kaagad siya? Take note, ang basis natin are actually factors of 2x squared. We use 2x and x. So, wag mo nang i-check to. Sigurado, equal na siya dun. Similarly, yung sa last term, ang basis natin are the factors of the constant. Therefore, parang it's sort of useless to check this na. Therefore, we don't need to check the first and last term. Okay na yan. The faster way of doing is checking na lang yung ating outer plus inner because they can usually be combined. So doing that, negative 10x plus x is negative 9x, which, is not equal to our middle numerical coefficient. So our remarks here, this is a wrong pair. Subukan natin sa second na possibility. But this time, don't use FOIL anymore. Simply add the outer and inner terms. So outer, 2x times 5 is 10x. Gawin natin black. 10x plus inner, negative 1 times x is negative x. If you notice, this is equal to 9x, which is again different from our middle numerical coefficient. So, remarks, wrong na naman siya. Okay, subukan natin yung third. Hopefully, ito na. Outer, 2x times 1 is 2x. Inner, negative 5 times x, negative 5x. If we get the sum, it's equal to negative 3x, which is now equal to our middle numerical coefficient. Therefore, these are the factors that we need to use. Ang final answer natin then, the factors are 2x minus 5 times x plus 1. So, these are the final factors of our trinomial 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. Now, I would like to go to the next example, pero before that, check muna natin. What can we take away aside from the final answer? Anong mapapag-aralan natin or ma-generalize natin from this previous example? Notice, nung unang pair, the middle numerical coefficient is negative 9x. The second one is positive 9x. Notice the difference? It's only the sign. The reason is, di ba ang ginawa lang natin is to consider the opposite of their signs here. 1, ginawa mong negative 1. Negative 5, ginawa mong positive 5. Kaya, yung middle numerical coefficient na sum is negative 9x and 9x opposite lang din. What can we conclude there? That means, kapag merong kang minultiply, outer and inner, pinag-add, this value is far from our middle numerical coefficient na target, huwag mo nang i-try and multiply yung outer and inner to get the middle term nito. Sigurado, this will just be the opposite nito. Therefore, parang makakat yung trial and error mo by half. If you got this, sigurado opposite lang niya ito. Kaya nga, subukan natin. Ito, ang sum nito is negative 3x, which is the answer. Well, just for, observing, try nga natin ang outer and inner nito. We are expecting that the answer will just be 3x kasi opposite lang dapat. Sige nga, check mo. So we have outer is 2x times negative 1, negative 2x. And then inner, 5 times x, 5x. As you can see, opposite lang. Tama yung sinabi natin na if you get this, it will just be the opposite of this one. If you get this, it's just the opposite of that one. On to our next example. Example number 2. We are now asked to factor 6x squared plus 19x plus 3. Nako, medyo marami na tayong kailangan i-consider ditong factors. Pero sige, tsagay natin using our technique that we got from the previous example. First, let's write all the possible factor pairs of 3. So here we have 1 and 3. Opposite niya is negative 1, negative 3. Wow, buti na lang prime polynomial ito. I mean prime number ito, 3. Kapag prime number yan, usually dalawa lang yan. 1, 3. And the opposite, negative 1, negative 3. Now, how about 6x squared? Here, we have more than one possible factor pair. Aside from x and 6x, pwede ring 2x and 3x. Nako, mapapasabak tayo dito. O sige, let's try and organize the given by writing them on a table here. Let's write first the factors of 2x. Of 6x squared, which are 2x and 3x. Yan muna ang ilista natin. And then, the factors of positive 3, we have 1, 3, I'm just copying this, negative 1, negative 3. However, from our previous example, we learned that we should consider flipping this one. So, 1, 3, flip it, 3, 1. Negative 1, negative 3, flip it, negative 3, negative 1. The reason for that is magkaiba na ang ating factors. Hindi na dati na x and x lang. 2x and 3x, therefore, another possibility. Now, we're not yet done. We just considered 2x and 3x. How about x and 6x? So let's write them here. X and 6x. Ulitin natin because we don't only partner itong mga to dito, we should also partner them with x and 6x. So copying 1, 3, then negative 1, negative 3, and then 3, 1, and then opposite of that, negative 3, negative 1. As you can see, we now have a total of 8 possibilities. Di bale, kahit marami tayong itatry, alam natin yung shorter way of doing this. So, possible binomial factors, let's try to write them. Let's partner 2x times 1, 2x plus 1, partner 3x with 3, 3x plus 3. Okay? Next, partner 2x minus 1, and then partner 3x minus 3. Then 2x plus 3, I hope nakakasunod kayo. And then partner 3x plus 1. And then 2x times 2x minus negative 3 rather, 3x minus 1. Now, let's try to check by using FOIL. Of course, we know we don't have to do that. We only check the middle term na lang. Kasi first and last, sigurado tama na yon. Let's simply add outer and inner. So doing that, outer is 2x times 3, it's 6x. Inner is 1 times 3x, it's 3x. Therefore, ang ating middle term is 9x, which is far from positive 19x na target natin. Now, from our previous example, we know or we discovered that we really don't need to solve for this next one. Sigurado, it will just be opposite of this one. Okay? Now, let's try itong susunod. Outer, 2x times 1 is 2x. Inner, 3 times 3x is 9x. If you add them, it's 11x, which is, again, far from this one. So, this is wrong. This is wrong. The next one is still incorrect. Now, buti na lang we learned from our previous example, we don't really need to get outer plus inner. This will just be negative 11x. Again, wrong answer. Let's try the next one. Outer, we have x times 3 is 3x. Inner, 1 times 6x is 6x. Adding, it's equal to 9x. Sorry, wrong pa rin. Okay, wag mo nang i-add. Sigurado, wrong pa rin yan. Okay, hopefully dito na tayo. Outer, x times 1 is x. Inner, 3 times 6x is 18x is equal to 19x. Tama na ba? Finally, we got the factors. It's now equal to the middle numerical coefficient. So these are the factors after a very, very long method. You got it. Well, at least, chinaga natin. So let me write the factors then. We have x plus 3 times 6x plus 1. So these are now the factors of this trinomial. You can now try this first exercise. Tiyagain nyo lang. Kaya yan, pause this video, go! Here is the answer for this exercise. I showed every possible binomial factors, all 8 of them. Of course, you don't really need to check all the middle terms. Once nakita nyo na yung sagot, you can end from there. I just showed you everything so that you can check your answer. On to our next exercise. Exercise number 2 is given. Again, tiyagain ninyo. Pause this video now and try it. Go! Here's the answer for exercise number 2. Nakuha nyo ba? Again, pinakita ko lahat ng possibilities, but you don't really need to do that. Once you get the answer, you don't need to try the others. The last exercise is a little more challenging. Clue: there are 16 possible binomial factors. Tiyaga-tiyaga lang, last na ito, kaya nyo yan. Pause this video, go! Here are the answers. Ang dami, no? Pero I hope nakuha ninyo. This video is part 4A of our series of tutorials. In the next video, it's part 4B. We will be trying to solve the same examples but using another method, the AC method. I hope to see you there. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy solving!